Last class we made these beautiful weavings. Remember we used our Gerhard Richter paint scrape papers to weave into either a magenta or turquoise paper. Today, some of you have some strips that were hanging off the edge of your paper because they didn't quite line up. You need to take a pair of scissors and just trim those up just a touch so that it is straight as you go down the edge of your paper. Mine look like they're pretty good. Don't have too much to do with them. Alright, so I would say it's pretty good. Last class we also talked about patterns. Remember that when we wove, it's like an A-B pattern. You may have talked about A-B patterns in music before. Remember, we went over, under, over, under, over, under, or A-B, A-B, A-B. Well, today we're going to continue with some patterns. We're going to use construction crayons, which are fancy crayons that worked really well on construction paper or colored paper. You are going to be creating a pattern in these open spots. You can see that I've already begun mine. I've been doing a new pattern for every row. So you can see here I did green, gray, and then I did these diagonals with dash, diagonal and dash, and then I went green, gray. So you can see that on each row you'll have two that are the same and one that's different because you'll only have 3 open spots to color in for each one. So I might do a angle, and maybe a orange angle in between it. I suggest using some of the lines that you know, such as angles, curves, verticals, horizontals, diagonals, all that good stuff that you guys learned last year. Since the pattern, I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to come all the way over here. Angle, angle. I want to see 2 colors in each square. Alright, that'll make your artwork a little bit more interesting than just using one color to make a pattern. This one, I think I will do a curve going up and down. I would say probably no more than 3 colors in a square just because the squares are so small and it'll be hard to add that many colors into it. But I would recommend 2 colors per square. Make them different. Notice how I'm trying to change my patterns as I go up and down my weaving so that they're not all just the same. Use different colors as well. You polka dots, practice your lines, you could use shapes. And you're going to go all the way up and down your paper. Lastly, you'll have these open spaces along the bottom and along the top. I would suggest doing some kind of pattern all the way across as well. Remember that pattern is something that has to repeat itself. So I think I'm going to do some of this greenish color. I did a curve at the top, so I think I'm actually going to do an angle at the bottom just to mix it up. You don't have to. You could do a horizontal across it, whatever you'd like. Since this one area down at the bottom is a little bigger, you could probably do 3 colors like I did, since it's so much larger than the squares. when you get this far and your entire paper is covered in patterns, I've done the top, I've done the bottom, and I have a different set of patterns along each row, you're finished. And these can go in the bottom of the drying rack as low as we can go.